If you're battling with long COVID and searching for supplements to aid your recovery, hold up. Before you start popping pills, watch this video to learn which ones might actually be prolonging your suffering. Hello and welcome to this growing community of people who are ready to heal from their weird mystery symptoms that conventional medicine doesn't have answers for. I'm Carrie Bailey, your functional nutritionist. I work with people with anxiety, depression, and other weird mystery symptoms, and we use food as medicine to heal. Today's video, you'll learn the 3 supplements to avoid like the plague. All right, let's jump in. Supplement number 1 is collagen. People take collagen as a source of protein and to support their skin, bones, muscles, and connective tissue. But there's no good science behind collagen. Our body's collagen cannot be supported by eating collagen. If you understand the human physiology, which is a lot of the foundations of what I teach, we need the building blocks of collagen in order to make collagen in our body. The building blocks of collagen are leafy greens, fruits, and vegetables. These are the best sources of building blocks. And so those building blocks from a nutrient standpoint are vitamin C and zinc and amino acids and B vitamins. The ideal way to increase the collagen in your body, having a plant-rich diet. So this might surprise you, but taking collagen as a supplement actually clogs your liver. It reduces the liver's ability to convert vitamins and minerals that the brain needs to assimilate. And I'm talking about the brain here because there are many long COVID symptoms that are neurological in nature. Most people that are struggling with long COVID, I would argue, actually have already sluggish, slow livers. Ironically, taking collagen will actually lead to collagen loss because the collagen you're taking is clogging your liver. It's preventing the liver from functioning optimally, from taking the nutrients that you need, allow you to build collagen. I would argue that most people with long COVID already have a sluggish, stagnant liver. Taking collagen will further clog and slow your liver. In order to build collagen in the body, you need vitamin C, zinc, amino acids, and B vitamins that you're going to get from your fruits, vegetables, and plants. The number 2 supplement to avoid, this is going to surprise you, is fish oil. The first supplements I remember taking in my 20s that made a significant difference to my mood was fish oil. I swore by it. But over time, I've learned the truth about fish oil that no one is telling you. It can help brain fog and mood in the short term, but in the long term, it makes symptoms worse because fish oil is not a clean supplement. It is contaminated. Cod liver oil and most fish oils have high concentrations of toxins, including mercury and other heavy metals. And there is absolutely no way to remove all of these during the manufacturing process. Although most supplement companies and marketing will tell you that we're purified, we go through third-party testing, there's just absolutely no way to remove all the mercury in those fish oil supplements. Most fish oils are manufactured with unwanted fish byproducts and the waste of various varieties of fish. Even if during the manufacturing process, they're really good at clearing the toxins from the oil, there's still remaining a little bit of mercury and toxins. And that little bit of mercury can create sort of a homeopathic dosage, right? It's just a little bit. But if your body's not good at eliminating it over time, that mercury is going to accumulate in your body and increase your toxic burden in your body. And it's going to add to the already toxic burden of probably why your liver is sluggish and slow in the first place. I started exploring mercury because I had a really high load of mercury in my body from 35 years of amalgam fillings. And I was also born to this crazy guy who used to like to open those thermometers, you know, the old school thermometers, you know, that you shake down. At the bottom of those is mercury. And he used to like to crack those open and play with it because he could play with it and it wouldn't come apart. But he didn't know he was toxifying his body. Thanks, Dad. I love you. The mercury in fish is called methyl mercury. And this form of mercury gets into the body and brain much easier than other forms of mercury. So including my amalgam fillings, those didn't get in my body quite as easily as the mercury from fish. Now, the concentrations of heavy metals and mercury is generally in the fat, whether it's in the fat of you or the fat of the animals you're eating, because the body is trying to protect you or the animal. And so it wraps those toxins and those mercury in the fat. So the mercury is much heavier in the fat stores. The concentrations of mercury and heavy metals are stored in the fat, right? This is your body's way of protecting you. It's storing it so that it doesn't pass on into your brain, ideally. But it's also stored in your organs, your bone, and your fat cells. So our body is protecting us by wrapping up these toxins with the fat and storing it in different parts in your body. If you're storing them, then you can't get rid of them. And then again, that is creating the overall toxic burden in your body. Fish oil is not a whole food, it's processed. Anytime you extract something away from its original form, that is a processing. So in essence, it would be better to eat the whole fish and get your fish oil that way than to actually eat the concentration of the fish oil. Just as it would be better to get your walnut oil from the walnut itself than to extract the oil and drink it separately. That separates it from becoming a whole food. Now, the other important thing to understand about fish is that the trace minerals in fish are stored in the muscles, whereas the toxins are stored in the fat. And so again, when you're eating those together, it's going to be a little more bioavailable for the body. Your body's going to be a little bit more able to process those toxins in a better way. Whereas when you eat the fish oil, the minerals are extracted from it. They're in the meat, not in the oil. And so therefore, again, it's like analogous to having a refined sugar is bad, right? Because it's not a whole sugar, you're missing the minerals. Whereas the sugar in an apple or honey or maple syrup is intact with all the minerals that it needs, that you need with that glucose to take it in. Same thing with salt. It's always better to have a Himalayan salt or a Celtic salt than it is to have a refined salt where it's just everything has been removed and then you're putting it in your body and asking your body to process this thing that is not a whole food. Anytime we take components of a food away and put it in our body has to use our own minerals in order to process that nutrient. Final reason to avoid fish oil is because of sort of the theme that I've been talking about through most of my videos. If you're sick, you're going to want to go low fat diet. The more fat there is in your diet means that there's more fat in your blood, which makes it thicker, which means there's less room for oxygen and glucose and other nutrients that your body needs. All right, the number 3 supplement to avoid is multivitamins. Multivitamins are more marketing than anything. They're very minuscule amounts of nutrients. They're whatever you can fit usually in one capsule or tablet, and they really won't make a dent in your health. In effect, they might actually be detrimental because you're just kind of sticking the whole kitchen sink in there, right? You're not really customizing to what our bodies need in order to heal. They're low quality, they're often synthetic. It's a little analogous to adding a drop of water every day to your bath water. Your bathtub is probably losing more water than putting in 1 drop per day. Same idea. It's like putting a drop in the ocean, right? It's not going to make much of a difference. If you have complex and chronic issues, if you have multiple debilitating symptoms, you really need to pull out the big guns here, right? You can't just put in a little bit of something and expect to shift the dial. And there are very specific nutrients you need to bring in to heal. So when I'm working with my clients, I like to bring in single nutrient supplements. And the reason for this is that they're each a dial, and they're dials that I can manipulate. So for instance, if I were to run someone's blood work and the blood work said, okay, you're low in vitamin C. If I have vitamin C and a multivitamin or combined with other nutrients, I can't regulate that. I can't dial that up or down. And so I might see that you need a lot of vitamin C. So we can bring that vitamin C in. And then when I run your blood work again 6 months later, we can look at your blood work and go, okay, we brought it up a little bit. We need to bring it up more. Like, again, it gives us something to work with. And the same thing with symptoms. Maybe it's not blood work, but we can look at symptoms and go, okay, we need to turn up the dial on that. So when you have a multivitamin, you don't have that kind of control in order to put more in, more water-soluble vitamins like the B vitamins and C vitamins. If you wanted to put something in that I would say is the closest thing to a multivitamin, I would actually recommend spirulina. Spirulina is a blue-green algae that's high in amino acids, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, phytonutrients, carotenoids, antioxidants. The other thing about multivitamins is that you'll notice that there's no magnesium in them. And most people are deficient in magnesium. Our soils are deficient in magnesium. The foods we're eating are deficient in magnesium. The problem with that is that the reason magnesium is not in there because it's molecularly a very large molecule. If they put anything in there, there wouldn't be room for anything else. And so that's why you don't see it, even though if you think, oh, multivitamin, I'm getting every nutrient that my body needs. That's just not the case. You might need magnesium. I would say most people need magnesium in some degree, and bringing it in a multivitamin just won't work. So same thing with copper and zinc, right? Most people, their immune systems need a lot more zinc than copper. And in fact, I would actually argue that you don't need any copper. There's plenty of copper in the diets that we eat. There's no really reason to bring in extra copper. You need a lot more zinc. Your body uses a lot more zinc if you're sick, if you have viruses and bacteria and pathogens. And lastly, the other nutrient that is missing in a multivitamin is really a very high dose B12, and in the right form. And you want a sublingual form of B12, and you want a really high dose. I believe the recommended daily allowance of B12 is 2 point something micrograms. Well, you want like 2,000 micrograms, and there's just no way to put that in a multivitamin. That multivitamin, again, would be a swallowing form, not a chewable. And again, if it's a chewable, in order to make it taste good, like a Flintstone vitamin, there's going to be even more junk in it. Before I summarize, I want to say hello and welcome anyone who's new to my channel. If you need a little bit more support in recovering from anxiety, depression, or other weird mystery symptoms, check out the recovery guide that I have in the description and the comments below. There you will find tips and recipes and everything you need to get you started on this journey of healing. In today's video, you learned why collagen, fish oil, and multivitamins are not the best choice if you are suffering with long COVID symptoms, and why they might actually be detrimental to your recovery. If you love this video, give me a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe and update the notification button so you can see my videos each week as I release them. Do you have a question or a recommendation for a future video? Pop a comment below. Say hi. If you're new here, say hi. I really appreciate all of your feedback. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.